So now I would like to look at the code that was placed for me. If you can see that everything is kind of fits on one screen, but I will resize it so now it's no longer fitting on one screen. But I'm curious how the current layout picked by the wizard is positioning these two labels, because I position them very specifically here and here. This is the way I want them to be visible. But how does this wizard generates the code that makes everything positioned somewhere? So let's click resolution, copy it, and I press Control F to start the search. And before I execute the search, I will just expand this generated code, which is all of this. So I can see that what it does, it's working on the layout over here, right? And then sets the whole vertical group and then packs the layout together. Okay, so you know, my point here is that I would like to be able to I would want to be able to generate my labels dynamically. I wouldn't want, like, see, when I was planning my design, I was thinking that how to configure this to have from 1 to a specific number of labels, and do I really need to hard code them during my design, or could I possibly generate them dynamically? So to generate them dynamically, let me I can give a try just to see how this works. Like, if I wanted to add a third label um, programmatically on my own, what should I do? So this actually does this packing thing, which is sort of like finalizes layout. So I'm just curious if I could, if I if I could if I could try this on my own. So it sets basically it goes to the panel view main, which I added. It generates the layout of gadgets. It says and basically is making a group layout for this panel, right? A group supports essentially like a vertical and horizontal elements in it, and it creates this parallel group in that layout for every label. All right, so let's see. I'm just thinking if there was anything I could do to, so let me see. So we call init components, right? One possible way to do this would be to not call it from here, but instead copy and paste this and customize it, make it our own design. Let's you know, we can give it a try. So this is we have an example of two labels being created, so we can basically try it on our own. Why not? Because otherwise we won't be able to control it. So let's see. Let's add the two buttons. Switching back to the design, so I'll just keep these two labels in place, and now add two buttons. change variable name, btn for button, confirm to confirm New Year's resolution. And I'll be arbitrarily picking like the first one or the last one. This is not specific to this assignment. You know, I mean, this of course can be made more sophisticated. I'll just use, you know, I'll just, as always, try to write something minimalistic to satisfy the requirements of the homework. So confirm will be here, button confirm. And of course, change the text, and confirm will be new text. And another button will be to undo. Change variable name, btn, oops. Okay, and that's a silly name button, but we'll use it. And because it's part of the user interface, we'll say whoops, and we will undo by using the second button. Let's just check what we have so far. So far we have all of this. So we have 2 buttons, and we have 2 labels, and we have a panel. So that should satisfy this plan to have those things. So potentially what we can do is so that we have it in place right now. I guess what we can do is just take a copy of this init components and add it somewhere here, and init custom components. Okay, and just simply take everything from here, everything that we have, and copy and paste and customize this. Okay. So we just have our own version of it now. And of course, we'll start calling init custom instead of this. Right? So it's possible. So now we should be in full control of like working with this form. And instead of hard coding it like this, what we're going to do is we're just going to, let's highlight this thing and see what needs to be done. So with respect to label 2 and label 1, of course, as well. So we just have we have 2 of these labels over here. So we're this is where they're getting well, this is where we're generating them. It's sort of like uses this chained access tool. There's lots of changes to make. So basically it says create group, and once the group is created, the group is returned, and we say add another group and sequential group. Yeah, so it's sequential group adds yeah, I wonder if this would be add buttons and add container gap. And then vertical group. All right, so we'll find out what add component. add group. So we're creating a group over here. Add gap, add group.